Hello everybody, it's Lily and I'm back with another video, and in this one I am doing a redraw redesign video of one of my just a character I made up when I was back in the anime days, drawing and uploading to DeviantArt. And so I kind of wanted to revisit this big-eyed look style, and so I was kind of going back and forth between trying to do another anime drawing or trying a different style, maybe something more Disney inspired. And so I ended up choosing the more Disney inspired route, and I used concept art from the movie Frozen as kind of a reference specifically for the eyes. Unfortunately, it's pretty sad, but my recording program crashed when I was doing the sketch, and so I don't have it recorded, and it's really sad because doing the sketch was super fun, and I think it would have been super fun to watch. There was a lot of involvement in trying, flipping the image a few times, warping, copying and pasting, just a lot of computer involvement with this sketch. And unfortunately, we won't have that in this video today, but at least you will be able to see me color it, and coloring is, probably even better than the sketch. So here's the sketch. I think it's pretty cute. I was trying to go for kind of a, like I was saying earlier, kind of a modern Disney style, comic book kind of looking art style. And so yeah, here is the sketch. When redesigning this character, I really wanted to focus on the things that I feel like I lack in my art, especially back in 2013 when I uploaded this photo to DeviantArt. I've always really struggled with poses and making things look, I guess, more trendy and applicable for common day, what am I trying to say? Making my characters look like they are current, I guess you could say. So, in the old picture, it's kind of boring. Her hair is just down. She kind of got that mullet thing going on, which is appropriate for these days, I guess, but her hair is down. She just got a galaxy shirt on, and her sleeves are striped. It's super freaking basic and kind of really boring. And so I really wanted to pump up my design aspects into this drawing, and I wanted to make it look more interesting and current and cute. So because it's space themed, I gave her some space buns because I felt like that was appropriate. And then I based her clothes off of some styles these days that I feel like are really popular, having that kind of sheer mesh shirt with some sort of embroidery on it, and having that what is that, kind of like a heart shape neckline with the bodice underneath. I still wanted to keep the majority of the color palette the same, so I ended up sampling a lot of colors from the original drawing for the skin tone, the hair. I used purple and blue in the clothes. Yeah, I just tried to keep a general vibe of it being a redraw redesign. However, I did make quite a bit of changes. So, the original sketch, I had her having some freckles, and I feel like the freckles were super, super cute, but the original drawing, she didn't have any freckles, so I didn't end up using them. I think maybe someday soon in the future, I'll have a character with freckles, because I just really liked that. Let's just talk about this coloring process. So it is, I'm trying to do more painterly kind of art these days on digital, and back in the days of DeviantArt and anime for me in high school, I did a lot of line art and then coloring underneath the line art, and I feel like it works for some people. Personally, I think it made my art look kind of flat, and so rather than using the line art and coloring underneath it, I tried to do a combination of coloring some underneath but coloring mostly on top and mostly sticking to one layer. And so I think that that was really beneficial. It's way more fun, in my opinion, to do it that way. And yeah, I just really like it. Yeah, just drawing the skin and doing the eyes and stuff. So for the eyes, the eye whites, I decided to go with more of an off-white. I wanted this whole drawing to have a more soft and less super freaking contrasted bright look to it. So the eye whites, I made like kind of an off-white color. And then I debated whether I wanted to make her eyelashes this purple color that I had in the original drawing, and personally I think it would have made it look way more like the original drawing if I had done that, but it just looked really weird, so I couldn't get myself to do that. It's just too strange. I made her hair this peachy color again like in the original drawing, and then I tried to add some of that purple tips thing going on. I don't know how that looks with space buns. It's kind of tricky to, I guess, account for where the hair is in a space bun. So I just did my best and tried to make it just look kind of dimensional and gradient. Here I am coloring the clothes, and this was really fun for me. I used a combination of different layer settings to do some shadows and to make the purple look like it was sheer on her skin rather than like an opaque fabric. And then I colored her eyes in, and I noticed her face just seemed like it was a little bit too much to the left, and so I cut her face out and I slid it over. And that's the great thing about digital art, is you can like do stuff like that. Like traditional art, you can't, you don't have that much creative freedom. So that's why I like digital, especially like these days. I feel like it's more accessible. You don't have to have the art supplies to do it. I mean, you have to have like some sort of drawing tablet and a drawing program. And don't get me wrong, that stuff's super expensive. So I get it, but like you don't have to upkeep with buying new paints. You don't have to buy new pencils. You don't have to buy paper. It's just like more convenient in that way for me personally. And right here, I just, I kind of mapped out all the different colors, and then I really just started focusing on refining things and making things look very solid and beefing up some of those lines, erasing some of them, changing colors, things like that, just making it look more solid and less sketchy. Alright, and here I decided her bangs just looked a little chunky and I didn't really like them. And so I went back and forth on whether I should change them, whether I should keep them the way they were. I tried changing them to make them a similar shape, and that didn't really turn out. I wasn't really into it, and so I just decided to erase them entirely and just try a different bang shape altogether. And I gave her some baby bangs, and I think they're super cute, and I like how these look on her. I think it looks good on her face shape. She's a cartoon, so she has a very round face, but the baby bangs look nice with the space buns, and with her like kind of wispy bits at her ears. I think it just looks much nicer than the previous they just looked like really thick and really like kind of bogged down. This kind of gives her a little bit more movement in her hair. Oh, and here's an interesting thing I was trying with coloring. I was kind of doing these weird like dots because I accidentally did one and it looks kind of cool, so I just like kept going for it. And it kind of reminds me of the hair of the people from Splatoon, specifically Callie and Marie. It kind of reminds me of their hair. And so I kind of messed around with that for a while, but then I felt like it was getting too different from the original drawing, just a little too different. And so I ended up removing those and making it back to just normal hair. But I think I want to do like a Squid Kid drawing again. And I'll do like this kind of weird hair technique because I'm like super into it. And then it was time to color the eyes, and so I kind of went back and forth with what kind of coloring techniques I wanted to do. So I tried to do this kind of like cyan color in her iris, like the original art, and I was like, I don't know. So I referenced the Frozen art again, and I tried to just kind of emulate what they were doing, which was just a simple black, well, they used black pupils, but I just used like a dark blue, and then a little bit of shading, just a tiny bit, and a little eye shine. And I just wanted them to look super simple, and rather than getting too complicated and like ooey gooey anime, I wanted them to just look nice and simple and clean. And I don't know, there's just something nice about having the eyes be understandable instantly rather than so many things going on, and so I just kind of wanted to try that out. And finally, it was time to work on the hands, and so for the original sketch, I took my cell phone and then I did this pose that she was in. And so I used my photo reference to draw the hands because hands are really difficult, especially in any sort of pose. And so I just had to look at a real human hand, and it super helped. And so then I just focused on trying to make the hand look less sketchy. Obviously it looks super gross here, so I tried to make it just look nice and added some of the shadows there, just like really worked on it. And the entire time I'm thinking, I just need to do one hand because I can just copy and paste. Copy and paste is not cheating, it's not lying, it's just doing art in a smart way. Smart art, if you will. And so, yeah, little simple hacks like that are like really useful when you're doing digital art. And so, yeah, I just worked on the hands and then I copied, pasted it, flipped it around, put it on there. And then I noticed her arm pose was a little bit weird looking. She was a little too, I don't know, her arms were a little too like smushed into her body. And I'm like, that's not how arms and bodies work. So I looked at the photo reference I took of myself earlier and I tried to base the arms more on that to make it look more natural, like a real actual human pose. And so I just, yeah, I angled them less and I think it turned out looking a lot better. And then it was time to add some details onto the clothes. And so from the get-go, I was thinking how I wanted to have an embroidery detail all over the sheer top. And so I wanted it to have some sort of like star pattern. And so I drew a little star and I drew some dots around it. And then I copied it and then I pasted it and moved it around to connect them. And I copied that and then I pasted that. And then I moved it, and then I copied that, and then I pasted that, and pretty much made a pattern that way. It's very helpful to do things like this to make your art look more interesting. And so then I shrunk it down a little bit and pasted it onto the shirt. And I didn't just paste it on top of the sheer shirt and just leave it be. I tried to do it in chunks. So I did like her torso on one arm and then the other arm, so I could angle it a little bit so it looks more like it's actually on her like clothes rather than just being laid on top. Tried to make it look a little bit more interesting and a little bit more believable. And then after that, it was pretty much just going around, zooming in, cleaning up some finer details. One of her eyebrows was super off and I didn't notice earlier, so then I fixed it. Yeah, just made some different changes and just cleaned it up and fixed it up, erased some little bits that were out in the ether around her, and yeah. Then I decided to work on the background, and you know, the background of this original one is so detailed, and I was just not feeling it. I don't know. I thought maybe if it was too detailed, it would distract from the character. Plus, she already kind of has a simple thing going on. So I just tried to make like a similar background in a way more simple stylized style. And so I added a moon, and I thought I could have the moon in the corner like I did in the first place, but then now that's kind of boring. So I kind of want it to be behind her, kind of like behind her shoulder. I think that looks like some nice art flow going on. And it was originally bright white, and I decided I didn't want it to be bright white. I wanted it to be the same color as her eyes because I was trying to avoid using bright white to give it a more soft feel. And so, yeah, I changed the background color, changed that to soft white, added some gradients, tried making a little bit of a nebula going on in the gradient, and it ended up looking kind of messy and kind of like I didn't want it to be there. So I deleted that. And yeah, so the background's super simple, but I think it works. Anyway, here is my finished drawing. What do you think about it? Do you prefer the anime style? I know a lot of people love anime, and don't get me wrong, I love anime. Attack on Titan's like my favorite anime right now. But yeah, beside the point, what do you think about this new style? Do you love Disney's Frozen? Because that's what I based it off of. And so if you love Frozen, you probably should love this drawing. Oh my god. I'm in a weird mood today. I don't know what's up. Anyway, tell me if you like this drawing. Tell me if you don't like this drawing. Tell me if you like the original drawing better. And yeah, let me know what your favorite anime is. And do you love Frozen? Leave it in the comments below. Subscribe, like, comment, and maybe I'll make another video soon. I don't know. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, so this year is my year to get good. I've decided that I haven't improved my art fast enough, so this year I'm gonna try to get good. And so I'm gonna make a video about doing an entire sketchbook in a day, and maybe that'll come out next month sometime. I don't know. You know what, I say a lot of things and I end up not doing all of them, so let's see if this happens. Anyway, subscribe if you want to see that video, and I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.